Now we start with the second law of efficiency. This is the topic that has been left related to entropy. So second law of efficiency is actual efficiency by reversible efficiency. Now actual efficiency is always less than the reversible efficiency. This is the efficiency ratio is for work producing cycles or work producing engines like heat engines. And if we have work consuming devices, we compute the coefficient of performance. So second efficiency is equal to coefficient of performance of actual and coefficient of performance of the reversible cycle. So in terms of efficiency, it's actual efficiency by reversible efficiency, and with respect to coefficient of performance, it's actual coefficient of performance by reversible coefficient of performance. In terms of work, it's actual work produced by reversible work produced in terms of work producing devices, and reversible work consumed by actual work consumed in terms of work consuming devices. Okay, because in work consuming devices actually more work is consumed, while the reversible process shows a less of the work consumed, while in work producing devices the reversible work produced is shown more, while the actually the less work is produced. So numerator is less and denominator is more. Okay, so now we are starting with the pure substances. Okay, that was the topic related to entropy. Now pure substance can be anything. It can be an element, or it can be a compound, or it can be a mixture. But the criteria is that its composition should be invariable with time and should be same throughout the body. Means in the body the composition is same everywhere and the composition does not deteriorate with time. Then we will say it's a pure substance. Okay. Now, temperature corresponding to latent heat of vaporization is called saturation temperature, and the pressure corresponding to the latent heat of vaporization is called saturation pressure. Okay. Subcooled liquid. In pure substances, we will deal with subcooled liquid, saturated liquid, and saturated vapor. Okay. So subcooled liquid is the liquid whose temperature and pressure is less than the saturation temperature or pressure. Now saturated liquid is the liquid just before the boiling starts. Okay, and saturated vapor is the vapor when all the liquid has been evaporated after the boiling. Okay, now graph of saturated pressure versus saturation temperature is called vapor pressure curve. Okay, we will see the vapor pressure curve here. On the y-axis we have P saturation, on the x-axis we have T saturation, and this is the graph that we have found. Now degree of subcooling. All these topics, all these things will be seen in the phase diagrams that we will see in the latter part of the video. Okay. So degree of subcooling is saturation temperature of liquid minus temperature of the subcooled liquid. Degree of superheating is temperature of the superheated vapor minus temperature of the saturated vapor. As the process increases, the length of constant temperature vaporization curve decreases. Okay, or constant temperature vaporization line decreases. That is, the latent heat of vaporization decreases as the pressure increases. Okay. At critical point there is no constant temperature line. Okay, critical point is the most above point, most it is the highest point in the phase diagram. So we will see that critical point also. So at critical point there is no constant temperature line and latent heat of vaporization is 0. Okay, because the line will be shrinked to 0 length. Now HFG is 0 means latent heat of vaporization is 0, implies Hg minus Hf is equal to 0. HFG is nothing but Hg minus Hf. Hg is enthalpy of the superheated vapor or saturated vapor. Hg is enthalpy of the saturated vapor and Hf is the enthalpy of the saturated liquid. So HFG is equal to H0 at critical point implies Hg is equal to Hf at critical point. At critical point all the values, whether it's a specific enthalpy, a specific entropy, a specific volume, all values for saturated gas and saturated liquid are same. Okay, so Hg is equal to Hf, Sg is equal to Sf and Vg is equal to Ff. All are the specific values, means per unit mass. Now all the things that we are discussing we will see in these property diagrams. Okay, so this is the saturation curve. Okay, on the left side we have this whole red line is the saturation curve. Okay, on the left side we have saturation points of fluid and on the right side we have saturation points of gas. Okay, and at the topmost we have the critical point. Okay, so this is the temperature versus a specific volume curve. Okay, on the left side we have saturated liquid region of the red, of this red curve is there. So on the red curve left portion we have subcooled region, in between the red curve we have wet region, and on the right side we have superheated region. Okay, now this is the temperature corresponding to first, this is the first line. Okay, and this is the temperature corresponding to that curve. All that we will see, that we should know that in the wet region the isobaric curve is a straight line. Always all the curves that you will see in the wet region it will be a straight line, because isobaric curve in the wet region is a straight line. Okay, now corresponding to that pressure 1 we have T saturation 1, and corresponding to this pressure 2 we have T saturation 2. Okay, corresponding to that once again saturated pressure 1 we have Vf2 and Vfg. Okay, and corresponding to that pressure 2 we have Vf2 and Vg2. Okay, now on the topmost point we have the critical point. Okay, so once again we are drawing this, just highlighting this red line curve to tell you that on the left side we have the subcooled region, on the right side we have the superheated region, and in between there is the wet region. In the subcooled region the liquid is not saturated. All the points that we are getting on the red curve are the saturated points, and outside the saturated point on the right side we have superheated region. Okay, all these are isobaric curve. Okay, now you can see here also that we were saying as the temperature increases or the pressure increases, the line VFG, HFG, SFG decreases and becomes 0 at the critical point. Okay, so VFG is equal to Vg minus Vf decreases as pressure or temperature increases. Now we will see the phase diagram that we called PT diagram. Okay, pressure versus temperature diagram. First we have seen temperature versus a specific volume. Now we are seeing pressure versus temperature. Okay, so in this pressure versus temperature diagram we have three curves. Okay, first is sublimation, then melting, and then vaporization curve. The starting is the sublimation curve, this is the vaporization curve, and this is the melting curve. Okay, now this curve we have two melting curves. The first melting curve is for the substances that contract on freezing, and this is the melting curve for the substances that expand on freezing. Okay, the slope you can see for the melting curve for the substances that contract on freezing is a positive value, and slope for the substances that expand on freezing, the melting curve for that is a having a negative slope. Okay, all these curves meet at the triple point. Okay, at triple point we know that all the phases coexist in equilibrium. Okay, means liquid, vapor and solid coexist at triple point. Okay, now PT diagram is also called phase diagram because three phases are separated from each other by three lines. Okay, three lines are here. One line is sublimation curve, one line is vaporization curve, and one line is melting curve. Okay, now there are two melting curves, one for substances that expand on freezing and one melting curve for the substances that contract on freezing. Okay, now for the third type we have PV diagram, pressure versus a specific volume. Once again, this is the saturation curve, this is the isobaric curves. Okay, on the topmost we have the critical point, and if we are taking one temperature constant, means we are putting the saturation temperature is also constant. If we are making the pressure as a saturation, means temperature saturation is also same for that. So these are isobaric or isothermals, isotherms. Okay, now this is one is the triple line. Okay, in the PV diagram this straight line is the triple line. If you want to study more about these curves, PV diagram specifically, if you want to study about that, you can study more, because basically we deal with either TS diagrams or PT diagrams. TV diagrams don't really come. Now we have temperature versus entropy curve that we will see in the Rankine cycle also. Now this is the temperature versus a specific entropy curve. These are the isobars, and all the isobars in the wet region are a straight line. Okay. Now Mollier diagrams. That Mollier diagram is a specific enthalpy versus a specific entropy curve. Okay. Now slope of the isobar on the HS coordinate is equal to absolute temperature at that pressure. Okay. The slope of the isobar dH by ds at constant P is equal to T. T is the absolute temperature in Kelvin. Okay. And dH by ds at constant P is the slope of the isobaric curve on the HS coordinate. Okay, that is Mollier diagram. Now as the temperature increases, slope increases, or you can say as the slope increases, temperature increases. Okay, now this is the HS diagram. H is the enthalpy, S is the specific entropy. Okay, now we have seen in earlier that temperature and pressure curves are all the same, but here in HS diagram you will see this is not same in the, at least in the superheated region, that isobaric curve tends to go upwards and the isotherm tends to go downwards. Okay, okay, these are the things that you have to see. Okay, these are the value corresponds. On the right side we have the saturated vapor, so we have Hg value, and on the left side we have the saturated liquid, so we have the HF value. Okay, corresponding to that point. Now phase change from liquid to vapor occurs at constant temperature and constant pressure for any substance, and also change in free energy or Gibbs free energy is 0. So for any change from liquid to vapor, Gibbs free energy is 0. Now triple point is a point on phase diagram or PT diagram. On other diagrams it is a line. Okay, that is, in PT diagram phase change region is absent and rest, and on the rest diagrams it is present. Critical point is a point in all property diagrams. Okay, that is, triple point can be a line or can be a point, but critical point is a point in all property diagrams. Okay, these 2 points, critical point is a point on all property diagrams, and triple point is a point in all the property diagram except on PT diagrams. Okay, oh, it's a triple point is a line for all the property diagram except PT diagrams where it is a point. Okay, now dryness fraction or quality fraction. Now the dryness fraction or quality fraction is represented by a small x, okay, which is equal to mass of the saturated vapor by total mass. Now mass of the saturated vapor is equal to mg plus mf, yani mass of total mass is equal to saturated vapor mass plus saturated liquid mass. Okay, now 1 minus x represents, this x represents dryness fraction. Now 1 minus x represents proportion of the means proportion of the saturated fluid. Okay, means mf by m. Mf is the mass of the saturated liquid and m is the total mass. Now total mass is equal to mf plus mg, means mass of the saturated liquid plus mass of the saturated vapor. Okay, now if you are given in a question that we have 25% mass of saturated liquid and 75% mass of the saturated vapor, then you can compute dryness fraction as 0.75, which is correspond to 75%, and total mass as 0.75 plus 0.25 is equal to 0.75. Now total mass, as I have said, is equal to mg plus mf, where mg is the mass of the saturated vapor and mf is the mass of the saturated liquid. Total volume, V is equal to volume of the saturated fluid plus volume of the saturated vapor, which is equal to mf plus vf. Mf is the mass of the saturated liquid, vf is a specific volume of the fluid, and similarly with mg and vg, that mg is the mass of the saturated vapor and vg is the specific volume of the saturated vapor. Okay, so in terms of a specific volume we can do that. Okay, and we have the specific volume of the total air in terms of a specific volume of saturated fluid and a specific volume of saturated gas. Okay, so finally we get that saturated vapor total mass, saturated not total a specific volume or total entropy or total enthalpy or total internal energy or total density. This is 1 by rho density, because the specific volume is nothing but inverse of density. Okay, so you can do that and you can get these values of the gas that you want to find. If you have the dryness fraction and Vf value and Vg value, you can find a specific volume or a specific entropy or a specific enthalpy or a specific internal energy or density. You can find if you have the Vf value, Vg value and the dryness value, dryness fraction value. Okay, so this is the formula. Okay, that using this formula you can compute the property at any point on the phase diagrams. Okay, okay. Now how to find that m, mf and mg? You know that this is the total and this is the specific. Specific values are nothing but per unit mass. So if you are having the total value, divide by the per unit mass and you will get the mass. Okay, this is nothing, this is just common. Now x at critical point is not defined. Why it is not defined, you may ask, that why it is not defined? Because in the formula that you have computed in the previous, that you have seen that x is inversely proportional to VFG or SFG or HFG or any values, HFG or any FG values. So these all FG values at critical point become 0 and x is inversely proportional to these FG values. Now these FG values become 0 means x is inversely proportional to 0 means x is proportional to infinity. So infinity is not defined. So x at critical point is not defined. Okay, becomes infinity. Dryness fraction becomes infinity at critical points. So dryness fraction is not defined at critical point. Okay. In wet region, saturated liquid and saturated vapor coexist in equilibrium. Okay. Now if you get the dryness fraction more than 1 means the state is superheated. Okay. Inside the wet region you have the dryness fraction less than equal to 0, less than equal to less than equal to 1 means inside the wet region you have the dryness fraction less than 1, but outside the wet region in the superheated region you have the dryness fraction more than 1. Okay. Now liquid in the superheated in the subcooled region is also called compressed liquid. Okay, so subcooled liquid is also known as compressed liquid. Enthalpy of pure substances. Okay, now we will compute enthalpy of pure substances in various regions like wet region, subcooled region or superheated region. Okay. Now in the wet region you see that the point is ahead of the saturated fluid. Okay, you have the graph. Okay, this is the saturated fluid. So in wet region is more than the saturated fluid, ahead of the saturated fluid. So H is equal, H in the wet region is enthalpy in the wet region is enthalpy of the saturated fluid plus dryness fraction into HFG, that is difference of Hg minus Hf. Okay, in subcooled region which is before the HF, so we have H plus CPL into T saturation minus T is equal to HF. Okay, subcooled region what you have the enthalpy is, you can put it here also, you can understand this all as that enthalpy in the subcooled region is HF minus CPL into T saturation minus T. T is the temperature of the subcooled region. Okay. Now in superheated region which is ahead of the Hg value, okay, which is ahead of the saturated vapor, so we have enthalpy more than the saturated vapor. So saturated vapor plus CPV, which is the specific enthalpy of the saturated vapor, or a specific enthalpy of the vapor in the saturated region, in the superheated region, and T is the temperature in the superheated region, and T saturation is the temperature of the saturated vapor. Okay. Now entropy of pure substances. Okay, same thing that happened in enthalpy will happen in entropy also, that entropy of in wet region is more than entropy of the uh, entropy of the a specific liquid, entropy of the saturated liquid. In the subcooled region, the entropy is less than that of the saturated liquid, and superheated region, the entropy is more than the saturated vapor. Okay, and these are the formulas that you can get from the entropy formula. These are the formula for incompressible fluid. Okay, you have seen this formula, Cp ln T2 by T1, and these are the specific value. If you are given mass, multiply by it and you will get the values in joule per Kelvin. Otherwise the unit is joule per kilogram per Kelvin. Okay, so you have this entropy formula. Now SFG or S in evaporation is equal to HFG by T saturation. HFG is the latent heat of vaporization. So you can compute SFG using HFG and T saturation. Okay. Heat required or consumed in evaporation. Okay. So if you have the mass of the evaporated vapor, evaporated liquid, you can compute the heat required or consumed in the evaporation. Okay. So evaporated mass into latent heat of vaporization, you will get the heat required. And if you are given the power into time is energy. Okay, power is joule per second. So if you are multiplying with time, means second, you will get the unit joule. So power consumed, if you are given, so P into T is equal to heat required or consumed in evaporation, that is M evaporation into HFG. Now density of water is maximum at 4 degrees centigrade. Okay, so when we heat the liquid from 1 degree to 50, it's a question asked in GATE that what will happen if you heat the liquid from 1 degree centigrade to 50 degrees centigrade. So we know that the density of the water is maximum at 4 degrees centigrade and density is inversely proportional to a specific volume. Proportional to क्या मतलब is equal to होता है. So density is equal to 1 by a specific volume. So a specific volume first decreases and then increases. Okay. So thank you.